Welcome to today's live solve. It is Model Monday Live. Today is the 16th of February, and we are going to jump into SolidWorks and try to solve this thing using SolidWorks. So to solve this thing, we're going to head over to the website TooTallToby.com. If you sign up for a free account on TooTallToby.com, you can try the free challenges that are what we call our featured challenges. So we go in here and we say access full library. We've got what are called the featured challenges here. This week's featured challenges, and you can see here that one of these challenges is 260209. You can say click here to practice. And once we get in here to practice, look at this. One person has already solved this thing. Wow. That is super impressive. We literally just released this a few moments ago and somebody already solved it. That's incredible. So I'm going to say click here to begin. And my name is Toby. I'm using SolidWorks from the United States. Go! And so the question here is, what is the mass of this part in xxx.x grams? And this does look to be a sheet metal part. And so looking at this thing, the first thing I'm going to look for is, does the model have symmetry? You know, looking at this view here, it does look like it has symmetry. And then looking at this view here, I can see we've got symmetry in two directions. Now, the reason that's important is because that tells me the origin is going to be right here. But there's another reason that's important, and this especially comes into play with sheet metal. A lot of times in sheet metal, you have to create kind of multiple steps to get the results that you want. Like a flange here is not just going to be an extrusion, but we're going to click on this edge. We're going to create the flange that's going to come over. Then we're going to use a break corner to break these corners here. And then we're going to do a cut extrude to get this hole here. So when you've got 2, 3, 4 features that all need to go together in that one spot, I'm really going to lean towards just modeling 1/4 of the part and then mirroring on the end. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do with this model. So because I'm gonna be putting the origin here at the middle, and I'll probably put the origin down here at the bottom of this one, and because I'm only gonna be modeling 1/4 of this shape, my very first sketch is gonna look something like this. Now, a little trick that I use when I'm doing sheet metal is I will often create the sheet metal and then use an offset entities. In this case, we're gonna offset entities at 4 millimeters. And that way we can create some of these dimensions to the correct locations based on the drawing. Otherwise, it gets to be a little bit confusing. You have to do things like, for this 50 dimension, you have to dimension this at 58 instead of 50, because it's going to be 50 plus 4 plus 4. And that can get confusing pretty quickly. So instead, I will usually opt to just create an offset entity in the sketch and then create my dimensions to that geometry in the sketch. Finally, when it comes to this slotted area up top here, the slotted area is a little tricky. You might think that maybe you would flatten this thing first and then create the slotted area. But if we note the way that it's dimensioned here, it's dimensioned with an angle dimension, and we're actually getting a section view here showing that angle dimension. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that thing straight from the middle of the part. In other words, I'll create a sketch that kind of looks like this wedge here, and then I'll take that sketch and I'll cut it straight. And then after it's cut straight, I'll get in there and I'll add in this quote-unquote full round fillet, which is a 30 millimeter wide slot. So I'll add in that fillet at a radius of 15 for that fillet. And then that should give me the 1/2 radius on that slot. And then at that point, I will have 1/4 of the model, and then I should be able to mirror, and then I should be all done. Now, I know I took 2 minutes and 30 seconds to come up with a game plan there, but the thing is, I think it's always worth it to come up with a game plan before you actually jump into the 3D CAD. So that way, you kind of, once you get into 3D CAD, things just go a lot faster. So I'm going to say open in a new window. This lets me open this drawing, make it a little bit larger, and maybe move it over to my second monitor. And then I'm going to move the clock over here so we can all keep an eye on the clock. Maybe we can see if we can beat the average time here. I always try to beat the average time if I can. Whoops. Always try to beat the average time if I can. But in this case, I think it might be a little difficult because the average time is just 3 minutes and 37 seconds. And let's bring up SolidWorks here and let's get into it. So you guys can see my keyboard shortcuts. I'm going to say new. I'm going to make a new part here in millimeters. I'm going to right mouse button on the material and say I want it to be plain carbon steel. I'm going to go front plane, begin a sketch, orient my view, S key line, single click, move my mouse up. This is going to come up to, looks like 40. So I'm just going to right away take advantage of auto dimensioning. I'm going to come back and touch that endpoint and then come around. And then the inside radius here is going to be 40 as well. Hit the enter key, single left click to finish that. Come away with the line, come back, touch the endpoint, come away with a tangent arc off of that one. Okay, and then this one's just going to kind of come up and around like so, and then I'll finish off with a vertical line here. I'm going to click on that line and make it for construction. I have that hotkeyed to Q. I'm going to take the center point of this arc and make it coincident here to this point. And I'm going to take this end point here and make it horizontal to this point. And so now I've kind of created a basic layout for this shape. Now I'm going to use that offset entities strategy to offset all of these lines to the inside, and they're going to offset at a distance of whatever the material wall thickness is, so 4 millimeters. And I'm going to use this option here that says make the offset geometry construction. So when I hit that check mark option, now what I see is I end up here with that construction geometry for the offset geometry. Now the reason that's important is because this radius here is to the inside of the bend, but this radius here is also to the inside of the bend. So S key dimension, this radius here, that's going to also be to the inside of the bend. And this distance here from this point to the center line and then cross over the center line, that's going to be a double dimension to the inside of the material. So again, if I didn't have that construction line there, I would have to compensate for the drawing here, and then maybe make this like 58 to compensate for that extra material. So I'm just trying to keep things simple and trying to create a sketch here that when I look at this with the customer, it's going to make sense to me and it's going to make sense to the customer. So now that I've got that geometry all in place and ready to go, I think I'm ready to jump into sheet metal, base flange tab. And now this is going to come out to 1/2 of the total wall thickness, or the total center thickness area here. So this is 60, so it's going to come out to 30. Let's bring that out to 30. And then we're going to follow the sheet metal instructions. So the wall thickness is 4, the inside bend radius is 5. And then if I look at this thing here, I can see that I'm offsetting the material the correct direction. Material outside, material inside. I want that to go material inside. So we hit the green check mark and boom, there we go. There is our sheet metal part. We can flatten this, okay, and we can turn that back into a form shape. This thing's looking good so far. So now we're going to create the flange coming off the edge here. Now, you'll notice here that even though the default wall thickness here, or sorry, default bend radius was 5 millimeters, this radius here, if I click on this face and I look down in the status bar, that radius is still 40, okay? Anything you sketch ahead of time is going to become what's called a round bend or a base bend, and that base bend is going to be 40. This radius here on the inside is going to have a radius of 40 again. Okay, so when you sketch things and you include those sketches in, you sketch radii and you include those radii in the original sketch for your sheet metal base flange tab, SolidWorks will use whatever that sketched radii was. So then where does that 5 millimeters come into play? It comes into play here when I click on this edge and I go edge flange. This flange here is going to have a bend radius of 5 millimeters. That's going to be the default bend radius for all my subsequent bends, all my future bends, all my edge flanges and things like that. Any sharp bends are going to get that value. So we're going to type in this distance here of 40 for the length of that flange. That should be a distance here from this inside wall to this face of the flange. We'll check that in just a second. And then as far as the bend location goes, we can see here in this top view that the bend location is coming over 5 millimeters for the inside bend and then 4 millimeters for the material, so 9 millimeters total. So the bend is coming right off of that inner 60 millimeter area. So that's coming off 5 millimeters, bending to the outside there. You notice here you have this what's called flange position. Flange position, so I can go through and I can adjust these to these different positions. It's going to be this one here, the bend outside option. In Onshape, that's called hold line. They're named a little bit differently, but they do have the same kind of options. So we hit the check mark, and now we pick this face, roll the view, hold control, pick this face, and then look down here in the status bar. And we can see that when we selected those two faces, so I picked this face, hold control, pick this face, and now down in the status bar, it tells us that the distance is 40 millimeters, so we're good to go there as well. It's always good to do those kind of quick checks as you're going through and trying to do these challenges. So now we've got the location of the hole. Pick this face, begin a sketch, orient our view. There's a couple ways you can locate this hole. One trick that I sometimes see that I really like is I could begin the center line command and I can move over in this direction and type in 10 and move up in this direction and type in 20. And then that's going to give me the center of that hole. It's kind of a little trick that you could use there instead of adding the dimensions to locate that hole. you know, is one faster than the other? Maybe a little bit faster. It's up to you, though. And then we're going to make that through all. So I like to right mouse button in the background, say through all, and then right mouse button again. Here on the sheet metal toolbars, we've got a section called corners. We're going to say break corner / corner trim. We're going to use the option for chamfer, and we're going to type in a value of 8 millimeters. And that 8 millimeters is going to be on this edge here and this edge here. Right mouse button to finish. Okay. And now on the front plane, we're going to begin a sketch, and we're going to create that kind of wedge shape. So maybe what I'll do is I'll take this arc here and do a convert entities, and then I'll create a line here that comes up like so, and a line here that comes up like so. And then I could just trim that off, trim, trim, trim. And now I can add in that angle dimension, and that angle dimension is going to be 70. So, you know, these sketches really come together quickly when you take a few moments in the beginning and come up with a good game plan. So now that we've got that wedge in place, we can S key extrude cut, and then that's going to go out to 1/2 of that slot, so 30/2. If you can't do the math in your head, you can just type in 30/2. And there we go, 15 millimeters for that depth. And then for our fillet here, we can do S key fillet, and we can create a fillet here that goes along this edge, and it goes at 15 millimeters. Now, I'm just curious here. I'm gonna deviate a little bit here just to experiment. If I did S key fillet, and then I did face fillet, and I said I wanted to face fillet from here to here, could I go to hold line and then pick this edge here? Oh yeah. See, I like that. So it's almost like a full round fillet, half round. So I'm doing a full round fillet here in the sense that it's going to be parametrically sound. You know, it's going to be it's always going to be tangent to the midpoint here, because that's what hold line does. When you use the option for hold line, you pick this edge here, it's always going to be tangent to that location. And then it's going to come off, it's going to be tangent here. I'm using a circular profile, so it is going to be a proper full round. It's not like an ellipse or a spline or anything, so that's legit as well. I like this. I might start using this a little bit more. So I'm going to hit the green check mark, and then I'm going to test this to see if it is parametrically sound. So now if I click on this edge here and I change this from 15 to 20, yeah, I like that. Change that from 20 back to 15. Let's say we change this from 70 to 90. It moves right along with, yeah, I like that. That's a winner as far as I'm concerned. So it's like a full round, half round, doing a face fillet, using that third option for face fillet, and then using this face, and then picking this edge here, the split line, as the hold line. That's a winner. That one's going into my bag of tricks in the future for sure. All right, guys, so now with that all in place, now we're ready just to mirror. So I'm using SolidWorks 2020, so I don't have the double mirror built in here, but that's okay. We can use mirror here. There is kind of an interesting trick here with mirror. So when you're mirroring sheet metal, if your goal here is to merge solids, then you're not allowed to mirror using a plane. So if I pick this plane here and then I pick this body, see, I run into an error. It says, to mirror a sheet metal part, please select the face of the sheet metal part as the mirror face plane. Okay, that's fine. So what I'll do here is I'll say, okay, I don't want to pick this plane. I'm going to pick this face here, and then bodies to mirror, pick this body here, merge solids, hit the green check mark, boom, we're good to go. Go to sheet metal, go to flatten, it looks good. But then when I go to mirror this side, sometimes I run into an issue with this face because this face is part of a bend. So I go over here, I go features mirror, mirror face. I go to pick this face. See, look, it says bend face is an invalid face for sheet metal. I go here, you know, bodies to mirror this body, go back here, try and pick this face. Bend face is an invalid face for sheet metal. So that's not good. That's not really going to help me. I can't mirror this thing, right? So what you could do in this spot is you could say, don't merge the solids. And then you could just pick a plane. I'll pick this plane here, for example, the right plane. Don't merge the solids. Hit the green check mark. So now you've got these two separate solid bodies here. Then you could pick these two solid bodies and do a right mouse button combine. So this is insert features combine. Insert features combine, but you can shortcut to it if you hold control and pick two bodies. So you pick these two bodies, you right click and you say combine. And now we merge those two bodies together, and then we hit the green check mark, and now those two sheet metal bodies are merged together. And now if we go to sheet metal and go to flatten, we get a proper flat pattern. So It's kind of a weird, yeah, I see in the chat, BZ Rocket says, wow, SolidWorks is way pickier than Onshape for mirroring. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does get a little bit finicky when it comes to mirroring sheet metal. I've seen people run into issues with that many, many times where they try to mirror something in sheet metal and it doesn't work just because they didn't pick a face of the sheet metal body. But then even when they do pick a face, it still doesn't work. So this is like the next step workaround. You still pick a face. I'm going to delete this, okay? I'm going to delete the mirror as well. You're picking what is considered a valid face, or what seems to be a valid face for the mirror. So you go in here and you go to pick a valid face. It seems like it's a valid face, but it fails. So then you say, okay, well, how about if I pick a plane? So you go to pick a plane, but that fails too. And the reason that's failing is because merge solids is checked on. So you have to uncheck merge solids. Then you can pick the plane. That lets you mirror it. And then when you're done with that, use insert features combine, or right click here and do combine. And then that lets you work around it. And now you can get to your sheet metal flat pattern and it works. So it's finicky, it's a workaround, but look, that's why you guys tune into Model Monday Live and to these live solves, because we teach you all these really cool workarounds to help you get through it. So now that we've got all that, we can go up here to our sensor, we can do a control Q to rebuild, and we're coming up with a mass of 689.48 grams. So now we go back into the app here at TooTallToby.com and 689.48 grams, and oh yeah, we get that purple screen. It always feels good when we get that purple screen, and that is how you can live solve that challenge. If you guys like that, hit the GG button. GG for solving it on the first try. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That is a fun model and a lot of cool learning lessons there using sheet metal in SolidWorks on that challenge. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, be sure to hit the like button. Let me know down below in the comments what you learned from this challenge. And guys, we are live streaming here on Model Monday Live. And what we do on Model Monday Live is we release one of these challenges and then we challenge the chat to go through and try to solve this. While I was solving that, 8 other people solved it. Not an easy solve, not an easy solve at all. And so we're going to go through now and take a look at our first 42. Let me just refresh it one more time just to see if anybody else came in at the last moment here. All right, here we go. It looks like in our first 42, it's once again Mr. Misha. He's been absolutely crushing it every week, week after week. He always solves these things first on the website. The challenge was released at 1:36 p.m. East Coast, and Mr. Misha solved it by 1:41 p.m. East Coast. That is incredible. From Poland, Rockin' Fusion, and absolutely crushing it here on the website with these challenges. Congratulations, guys. Put a GG in the chat for Mr. Misha. Matab solving it 8 minutes and 15 seconds from the time it was released. Lotos, 9 minutes and 47 seconds from the time it was released. Kayvon in the chat, Rockin' FreeCAD, 12 minutes and 54 seconds from the time it was released. BZ Rocket, Onshape, 13 minutes and 55 seconds. Very nice. Larry K from Czechia, Rockin' FreeCAD, 16 minutes and 24 seconds. Love seeing the FreeCAD crew in here. Look at Serial Sal in here, looking so awesome in his profile picture. 20 minutes and 42 seconds. Very nicely done from the time it was released using Onshape. Flexster from the Netherlands, 20 minutes and 47 seconds. And bringing up the caboose here, TooTallToby using SolidWorks, 20 minutes and 53 seconds. Guys, that is how you solve a sheet metal challenge on the TooTallToby website. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. Matab pointing out that the first 4 were all 4 different CADs. Really, the first 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different CAD systems here. So cool. Serial Sal says, I hate sheet metal parts. Very nice. Jim U. Kerberos coming in here, finishing that model. 22 minutes, 54 seconds, Rockin' FreeCAD. Well done, my friend. Well done. That is awesome. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Model Monday Live. If you were here for the first time, I hope you'll come back and join us again next week.